Let's talk about something humans have been chasing forever: immortality. It's this epic puzzle that has fascinated us for, well, millennia. But what if the way we've been thinking about it is all wrong? The material we're digging into today has a pretty wild take on this. Right off the bat, the source material just lays it out there, no sugarcoating. It's this blunt reminder that, hey, look around. No matter who we are, where we come from, or what we believe, mortality is the one great unifier. It's the one thing we all have in common. Okay, so if living forever in these bodies is kind of a non-starter, then what's the point of all this? What have all our greatest minds, our scientists and philosophers, really been searching for? What's the actual endgame?
So let's dive into our first section and get right to the heart of it, the immortal question.
It turns out this whole quest isn't just about trying to dodge death. No, according to our source, it's about something way, way bigger. It's about cracking the fundamental keys and codes of nature. That's the real prize we're after. Which, of course, brings us to the most obvious roadblock on this journey, our second section, flesh and its limits. Our source makes a really interesting distinction here. The idea of extending our lifespan, just staying in our bodies for longer, that's seen as possible. But achieving true, unending immortality in our current biological form, that's a whole different ballgame, and probably an impossible one at that. And to really hammer that point home, the source uses some pretty stark imagery. The argument is, when you strip it all away, our flesh is temporary. It's subject to the same rules of decay as everything else that lives and breathes. So, if flesh isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the text proposes this alternative idea: becoming a being with light. Now, this isn't about biology. It's a theoretical state of being, a kind of pure electronic power that's timeless, eternal, just like light itself. Now, for our third section, let's talk about the sheer scale of this challenge, which is all about cracking the universe's secret codes. Think about this for a second. Over 2,000 years. According to our source, that's about how long it's taken all of humanity, with all our combined brain power, just to get to a point where reaching our planetary neighbor Mars feels like a real possibility. So, if it takes millennia just to get to the planet next door, the author speculates that cracking the fundamental codes of nature itself could take double, maybe even triple that time. I mean, the scale of it is just mind-boggling. And this leads to a really critical point. The biggest hurdles to reaching this incredible goal might not be technological at all. They might be, well, us. This is a race against ourselves. The source argues that our own behavior is the number one thing holding us back. Instead of working together, we get stuck in these endless cycles of competition, greed, and hate. We keep choosing short-term wins over tackling what the text calls the big matter, the questions that actually count. This chart really puts it into perspective. The source asks a really powerful question. If more than 80% of the world's nations can't even reach the moon, a known target with a known path, what chance do we have of working together to unlock the secrets of the entire universe? The conclusion here is pretty clear. It's not that we lack the innovation or the brain power. The real problem is our focus. We're just too distracted by our own squabbles and temporary gains to unite for something truly massive. So, if trying to do this as a group isn't working, what's the alternative? Well, our source suggests a completely different strategy, one that is deeply personal: the solitary path to wisdom. And the core of this strategy is a skill called personal concentration. It's basically the discipline of shutting out all the noise from the outside world to focus completely inward, to try and understand the chemical and electronic transmission of life itself. And the key thing is, it's a journey you have to take alone. And here's what that journey looks like. A seeker starts by looking for answers out there, in books, in institutions, in different belief systems. But sooner or later, they hit a wall. They realize none of it can really answer their deepest questions. So they turn inward. And that's when they understand the process is all about them. And that's what leads to a final personal breakthrough. The result of all this intense, lonely work is a pretty profound personal experience. It's described as seeing a unique light, an understanding that's completely invisible to everyone else, even the people standing right next to you. So this ultimate prize, this light, isn't some universal truth you can write down in a book or teach in a class.
It's a form of wisdom that's deeply personal, a revelation that shines only for the person who did the work to find it.
And that just leaves us with a fascinating and kind of challenging final question to think about. If the deepest truths of the universe can only be found through an individual experience that you can't really share, what does that mean for our shared quest for knowledge and progress? It's a pretty powerful idea to end on.